And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and
it's a ticket. Talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket. Talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket. Talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket. Talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket.
Welcome, everybody. I am Heat, and we are back a little bit earlier than planned. We had actually taken the rest of March off, and we're going to actually come back next Thursday. But damn you, Will Smith. Damn you. Just had to come back a week early because you know what? Coming back next week and talking about this story would have probably been a penny late and a dollar short. So you know what? It's been on everybody's minds. Everybody's been talking about it. So it is definitely something that we want to get into. I've heard so many takes on this whole thing. And some people, in my opinion, are just way off. So, but we're going to let the panel tell me if I'm crazy or if I'm going to tell them that they bat-ass crazy too. So we'll get into it in just a second. But first and foremost, I want to thank everybody for joining and tuning in. We are streaming live on LinkedIn, Facebook, as well as YouTube. Plus, we are also showing all of our content, including this show, on our Roku and Fire TV channel. So if you didn't know, we also now are streaming on Amazon Fire. I think that's what H TV. Anyway, and to everybody just around the world for tuning in, we thank you. Continue to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Empower TV Network, our Facebook channel, Empower TV Network, Parker Media Group as well. And I don't know if you guys know, but there is a hot web series out there called Hopeless Romantic. They've already done about 5 episodes. So if you haven't seen the 5 episodes, they are on YouTube. Go to YouTube, search for Hopeless Romantic web series. It'll take you to their page. Like, share, and subscribe. Most importantly, subscribe so that anytime they drop a new episode, you'll get a bell that will let you know that it just dropped. As in tonight, there's going to be a new episode, and here is a preview of that.
I levitated. So enough about you, bitch. We gotta get cover on the dating scene. That's probably what I've been working on all day. So that's probably what I've been working on all day.
Yeah, well, what's up? I'm busy.
So, anywho, did you bring over a cover?
Hell yeah. That bitch was lit.
All right. So, get you on this romantic web series. Oh my goodness. We got our panel with us now, and we have Miss Marvis Berry. How you doing, Marvis? Okay, she's on. She's good. And we have Miss Lori Parker. How you doing, Lori?
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
I'm good, but obviously I'm not doing as good as the one, the only, the franchise, Mr. Jermaine Parker. Should I even dare ask, how are you doing today?
Hey, it's not about me. It's about Trevor. If you're not watching Hopeless Romantic, you need to be watching it. I love Trevor. That's my favorite.
Trevor is definitely a fan favorite if you watch Hopeless Romantic web series. I am in it in different places. But this cat here, just working with him and doing table reads and stuff like that it was hard to be able to stay in character because he's just so funny and everything. So the way that he is on that side, when you actually see it on screen, he was even twice as crazy when we were just doing table reads and rehearsals. So shout out to the Hopeless Romantic family and continued success to them. So everybody, I come back a week early because I'm like, what the hell just happened on Sunday? And I didn't even get to watch it in live real time because I was out and about. But I'm looking on my Facebook thread, and I'm not really understanding what people are talking about half the time because they just leave cryptic sentences like, was that for real? Was what for real? Was that scripted? Was what scripted? Will done lost his damn mind. Will who? Later that night, somebody actually texted me and gave me more of the context, and I'm like, no, come on. And then I actually watched it later that night on YouTube, and when I got in, I actually showed it to Lori that night. I didn't even want her to go to bed on it because I was like, hey, when you wake up, you'll see a bunch of stuff in your thread, so I want to give you the proper context. So we watched it, and I was like, nah, that looked pretty for real to me, because if it wasn't for the actual slap, then his vulgarity at the end of it convinced me that I don't think the Academy would have went along with you staging something to that point. So, but I'll get y'all's idea on it. Marvis, tell me, what were your reactions to that whole thing?
So my immediate reaction was that it was scripted, but just between him and Chris. One, because he walked up there very nonchalant. Chris didn't move. Mm-hmm. And then in the end, what black man is going to slap another black man? If he was really upset about something, especially having to do with his wife, he would have knocked his butt out with a punch, not no slap. So, and then he walked back with a smirk on his face. So I thought it was, I thought it was planned. But then Chris's reaction was like, wait a minute, he wasn't expecting that. That was definitely something that caught him off guard. But when you look back at it, one, Will was laughing at the jokes. He was laughing at that particular joke. And the camera shows Jada rolling her eyes and making a face. And then all of a sudden, like somebody had hit him in the back of his head, he got angry when he was just laughing at something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wasn't believing it at first. I was not believing it. I don't really believe it now, but I think that there's more layers to it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. Lori, what was your thought?
Well, when I watched the clip, I was just really shocked because who slaps a black man on TV? But again, if you really, again, but with actually, if it was, I think his laughter, again, I wasn't there in the moment, but I feel that it was a nervous laughter. But at the same time, you don't go up and slap somebody. And if you really want to sit here and to throw down, you will literally just punch him. So I was expecting more of a brawl. And the fact that he never left, that's another thing.
Well, before I even get Jermaine in on that, yesterday the Academy came out and said that they had asked him to leave and he refused. And maybe they could have gone at about
yeah,
it.
But that's a lie. That's a lie.
Yeah, that was more, well, I agree with you, Marvis. I think that was more because of the backlash that ensued, and they were trying to CYA after the fact. Because if you really want somebody to be removed, they'd be removed.
They would have been removed.
I don't think, hey, Will, you think it might just be a better idea if maybe you just catch this from the bar across the street, maybe, I mean, that's only if you know, who does that? Nobody does that. So yeah, there's definitely some different layers. Jermaine, what were your first impressions?
Well, a little bit of background and context, right? I like to offer context for everything that I do. And so a lot of viewers might not know that I'm part Indian. And I'm not Cherokee, but I come from the Slapaho tribe. And
I know that tribe.
I'm gonna let you know right now. So if you disrespect my wife, I'm slapping shit at you too. I think really when he was telling the joke, you're trying to laugh through it and stuff, and then he saw that his wife was visibly upset, and so he went to go defend her. I know there's a lot of jokes about, well, what about old boy August? Was it Augustine?
August.
Althenia.
Yeah, and I'm sure that actually that kind of played into it, because sometimes and a lot of times, people who we lash out at are not really the subjects of our anger, right? And there's been some things said that he was on edge about his marriage and stuff like that. And but seriously, you say who does it and stuff. Will has been squeaky clean for like 30 years. Anybody who wants to use this one moment to defame that man for all the things he's done, and in fact, I'll be honest with you, I was hesitant to come on the show tonight because I didn't want to talk about it anymore. And I thought it had been talked about. There's a lot of things more important going on than Will slapping Chris Rock and stuff. Comedians push the line, and he stepped over the line. Look, COVID, and like even this setting right here where we're on video camera and stuff, has got a lot of people lacking in their respect. They think they can say anything without repercussion. And you can say whatever you want to say. And then you can get slapped in the mouth because I'm born on the west side of Charlotte. And again, if you were today to do that to my wife, that it upset her, something that I'm sure that she's cried about to me, right? That we've had private conversations that has bothered her and stuff, and then somebody to publicly make fun of her, and I can just see on my wife that change and stuff. Yeah, you getting slapped. That's all it is to it.
So Jermaine, I'm gonna break you there because.
So you gonna slap another black man, or you gonna punch a black man?
Punch him. I thought you would punch him.
When's the last time you slapped a black man?
I think he's gonna say exactly what I was gonna say to that. Go ahead, Jermaine.
No, go ahead.
Slapping another man is more disrespectful than punching a man. It's a sign of disrespect.
It is.
Slapping the shit out of a man is more disrespectful than just punching a dude.
Yeah.
Because the reason is I'm slapping you like you're my.
So all Will wanted to do was disrespect him. He didn't want to defend his wife.
In his mind, he was doing both. Because like what you said, Marvis. Yeah, he was laughing at first because you're at an event, comedians making jokes, everybody's laughing, you laugh too, and then you realize, like Jermaine said, oh, this is a sensitive subject for her, and he's making light of it, and I see in her eyes that she ain't feeling that. So what kind of husband am I sitting there laughing at that joke? Now I got to make up for the fact that I was laughing, so I need to show her that, hey, Laura, you might need to close them blinds, girl. That sun.
They are closed.
Wow, you gonna turn them up then? But yeah, something triggered where he said, you know what? I can't wait till after the show and say, baby, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have laughed at that joke because that wasn't gonna fly. He knew he was gonna have to make a
point of disrespect.
Yes,
you meet it at the point. You don't wait out there. And so.
All right, well,
I think what you want to say is, could he have handled it better? Absolutely. Better. Absolutely. We're not debating that and stuff. What I'm saying is that Will Smith is a human being. He had a human reaction. Did he need to walk up on the stage? That's where Chris didn't know what he was doing. That's why he stayed still. If he thought he was going to get hit, he'd have left.
Or he would have braced himself, because if you look, he actually put his arms behind his back.
Because he thought he was going to say something to him.
Behind him, right, because he wasn't. Right.
Because if I knew somebody was gonna slap me,
So no, he
first
was
of
not
all,
expected to be slapped.
right? Because if I thought somebody was coming to slap me, I would have been more in a defensive posture. That was a wide open posture, like, hey, nothing is about to happen. Before y'all jump into it,
What? Yeah.
Right. Unless he was provoking him, like, oh, you ain't gonna really come up here and slap me because we on national TV. Ain't no way in the world you, you know. Anthony Price says, I think it was scripted. I think Will Smith added more power in the slap. Then Brad jumped in when we were making the comment about them asking Will to leave. Brad said that it would have cost them more to have security remove them. Brad, if you are still on, give me a little bit more about what you mean by it would have cost them more. Would it cost them more?
I think what Brad means is that it'd be a bigger disruption.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Possibly.
Because they knew he was winning an award later on. And so they probably asked, so when the Academy says we asked him to leave, they did. They asked him to leave and he said no.
Yeah.
And that was probably the end of it.
So, and then Anthony said he was laughing. He was laughing, and Jada looked at him. Will had to do something, so he slapped Chris. Brad just jumped back in and said, "Just think of Will Smith."
So that's very different than what was happening. So what happened? And you two men with black wives will absolutely understand this. He was laughing at the joke. He's in the comedy realm, or he's in entertainment in that field, and he thought it was funny. He looked over at Jada. She rolled her eyes and gave that look that all black wives give their husbands at various different times.
That look. Exactly.
And
you
said,
know that look.
What? So it wasn't that. It was to show face to Jada because that's who he had to go home to. And
yes.
Absolutely.
And also, he also had his childhood trauma from when as a child with his father and protecting his mother, and he's always felt that he's never really stood up and protected the women in his life.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I still think it was more that he wanted to prove to Jada that he had her back, and that was his moment to do that. He picked the wrong moment, but that was his way of showing her, no, I really got your back, baby.
Look,
I think that. Go ahead, Brad. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say. I mean, look, you're right. He had to go home to that woman. Like I got it. This is my castle, and I got my queen in my castle, right? And despite whatever goes on and stuff, that's the woman. If there's anybody whose respect I need to have, if there's anybody whose protection is deserving from me and stuff, it's my children and my wife, right? And just like my daughters. If it had been my daughters, I'd have slapped the shit out of Chris Rock.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this. Before I ask you this, I'm gonna read Brad's comment. Then I'm gonna ask you this question. Just think if Will Smith would have strode on stage, took the microphone from Chris Rock, briefly and non-violently admonished him, then educated the audience regarding alopecia, how much better a response it would have been. It would have helped, not hurt.
Brad, you are absolutely right. But that's not what happened.
And I think most people, I think that wouldn't have been the venue. I think Jada had already talked openly about it on her Red Table, a lot about it, and just being open and very transparent about that process. Do you guys think that people give comedians a pass because they just basically said, hey, he's just telling jokes? And sometimes jokes are meant to be a little bit hit a little close to home because a lot of them are based on reality.
Hey,
And so here's my question. Had it been a non-comedian that said it, would it have been okay?
No.
So
Absolutely.
Why is everybody jumping on Will?
I think it's, as a comedian, you are telling jokes, but then there's a way that, I don't know whether you say it or something, but it's just, I'm not giving a comedian a pass if you're talking about a medical condition. Now, also, I think Chris Rock was also saying that he didn't know that she had alopecia and it was a medical condition. But regardless of that, being a person in this world, you should have an idea because it is very common and many people have it.
Yes. So, Lori, let me ask you this. So, if he had picked on somebody that had an eye patch on and said, "Hey, see you in the next Pirates of the Caribbean," and everybody laughed, would that be slapworthy?
It wouldn't be funny.
But everybody be laughing.
But I'm not laughing. I'm not everybody. If it's affecting me and it's the way that I'm feeling about the situation, I'm not laughing about it.
So this is off subject, but this actually
so
happened.
I'm going to raise my hand. I'm one of these people that did not know that she had alopecia. I really did not. I didn't say whether or not Chris did or he didn't. One, the joke wasn't about alopecia. It was about her short hair. Now, I don't know how many people here on the panel or how many people out in the audience know this, but this tidbit came over yesterday and made me go, 4 days before the ceremony, Miss Jada was on a blog where she talked about her alopecia. She talked about her bald head, and she said emphatically, I don't give a damn what anybody says about my bald head.
Right.
So,
yes, she did.
If that's the case 4 days before the things, what Chris said shouldn't have meant a damn thing to her. Nothing.
I thought the exact same thing, Marvis, but then I wondered, you tell yourself, if somebody says anything, I'm not going to care. Then there's a room full of people laughing because you're the butt of the joke. So, and the reason I say that is that I've heard too many people say, man, well, why Will get mad about that and not the fact that this young buck was blowing her back out? Why he ain't slap him? First off, we don't know what he did to August, if anything.
Yeah.
But August didn't sit there, and August wasn't the one on stage talking about I blew her back out. Secondly, how people react and respond to different things, it's hard to know in the moment if you're going to really be able to do that. None of us know. It's easy to say, hey, I wouldn't have done that. It's easy to say that because it didn't happen to you. But if you're sitting next to your wife and you know that you just laughed at a very distasteful joke and she's looking at you laugh, you turn over, she's rolling her eyes as much at Chris as she probably is at Showtail. So you got to say, so none of us can sit there even as men say that, hey, if some dude is up on stage just because he is a quote unquote comedian and he makes a distasteful joke about your wife, as I heard somebody say earlier on a different podcast, I'm sitting there going, well, wait a minute, bruh. You don't know, because if I say something about your wife, I'm going to expect that you're going to come up there and slap the shit out of me. I just am. And rightfully so. So I get all that. And before I go any further, Brad says, great. No, well, I don't want to read that.
Yes, you do. Read it. Brad said, great point, Marvis. Even with her baldy, she still was the finest woman in the room.
Okay, now that part is true, Brad. You're right, boy. Jada still look good, boy. She still look good. Yes, she does, Miss Jada.
She looked damn good. She looked real good.
She's a beautiful woman.
But you know what? Sometimes when everybody else can recognize your beauty, you may still be struggling.
Does not, I'm sorry. Jada does not have thin skin. She does not have thin skin. She does not.
Right, but she never had alopecia.
I think and I believe that they have had a problem with Chris since 2016 when Chris made that other comment about it. I think it stems way back. And Jada's rolling eyes was like, I can't believe this man is saying some other shit about me again. I think that's what it was.
And you're right. And you know what? You might be right because Will did say, keep my wife's name out your mouth. So that we all thinking that he meant just that time, but it could be other times when maybe he has said things where they thought he was out of pocket. Could be.
So,
correct.
Well, I just want to say this. Chris Rock's a comedian. Comedians push boundaries. He pushed.
He got pushed back.
I'm not condoning, and so I don't want you to think I'm condoning the violence,
right?
From Will. I'm basically saying I understand, and me being the man that I am, I get it. I get why he thought, because like there's a lot of times when you sit at home, when you've had an encounter and stuff, you think to yourself, you know what? I let that slide, but I should have slid on that dude, right? And, you know, you regret sometimes not taking action at the point of disrespect.
Facts.
As a grown man, you go, you know what? And so I think a lot of times, and again, I'm not condoning it. I do understand it, though. Is there a better way? Obviously, there's a better way. There's a better way to handle that. He could have talked to Chris after the show. I mean, we can talk about a dozen different things that he could have done better in that moment. But that's the thing. He was in that moment. That's the decision he made. I understand it was wrong. He shouldn't have hit him. I'm with Shannon Sharp that said if I was Chris Rock, I wouldn't have stood for that. We'd have brawled on stage. Because ain't no grown man gonna slap me. And
that would have been one of the longest commercials ever.
Oh, yeah.
They would have had to do a commercial.
Ever, right.
That'd have been.
And I actually applaud. I mean, Chris, come on. Chris is from Brooklyn. Hello.
Yeah.
Don't let no black man come up on you like that. Come on.
If you ever listen to Chris Rock, like when you like everybody hates Chris and all the time, the bullying that Chris Rock suffered, I know he's a 50-year-old man and stuff. But Chris Rock had his ass whipped before. As a comedian, people come and look for him. He's been robbed and all kind of stuff. And so, you know, I applaud his restraint. You know, we applaud his restraint because he could have took it. He could have made a decision in the moment, right? And that's I guess why I thought it was worthy of comment Sunday, Monday, maybe not so much anymore. Like he made a mistake, and that's grown man business that they need to handle off to the side and stuff. I don't think Will doesn't need to apologize to me. He doesn't need to apologize to anybody else. If he's going to make an apology, he needs to apologize to Chris and say, "Hey, man, this was what was going through my mind." And he can explain that to him, but he doesn't owe us an explanation for what he thought. He was a grown man defending his wife and stuff in the best way that he thought he could at the time to show his wife that he was going to protect her. And so the thing that I think is crazy so much is that women sit there and they complain about men not protecting them. They complain about it, and then Will Smith gets up and protects his wife, and then everybody's like, "Oh, I wouldn't do that." That is exactly what I hear day after day on everything. "Oh, I need a man that's going to take care of me and that's going to protect me." Well, Will is taking care of her, and he protected her, and then everybody lost their mind. How is it that you ask for these things as a society? Because I hear them so much, and then when it happens, there's a problem. Well, I don't want you to do it that way. You don't get to tell me what way it is. It's my relationship. It's my life. I'm going to do it the way I want to. Like I say, I'm part of Indian. It's going to happen. So either that's what you want, and maybe this is a point for women. Y'all don't know what y'all want.
The comments and
yes, there's a lot of comments going on.
Good. I'm here to move the conversation.
Wait a minute.
Hey,
so
I'm grilling some meat right now. I'll be right back. Let me turn my meat over.
That's fine.
You turned a whole lot of other things over right now.
Yeah, read the comments on.
Yeah. Before I jump on any more of that, we do have Miss TK Tawny Kilgo to jump in. That said, there's obviously more at play. Will is dealing with something. A boiling point was reached, and that joke was the catalyst for the tip-off. The root should be interesting if it ever comes out. The root of it is probably what she meant. Then Anthony jumps in. The problem is nobody's thinking about the Oscars. I don't remember who won, but Will made it all about him and his wife. And there is some publicity part to that too. That probably was unnecessary. The Oscars for the longest haven't been doing well ratings wise. Hell, like I said, I wasn't watching it. I was just going, and I'm an actor. So I was just going to wait until the next day to see who actually won. Normally it's chalk as far as normally who gets nominated. You kind of have a good idea who's going to win anyway. So, you know, it is what it is. And I wasn't nominated, so I wasn't going to watch
but talk about that a little bit. So it's now that has turned into like the moment of the Oscars, and now it overshadows that Will Packard, the first black man, got to produce it. So that's overshadowed, you know.
that
Big time.
it had more Black participation, which is what he and Jada was all about and crying about 4 years ago, now is overshadowed. Come on.
Yeah.
Give
Now,
them a pass.
Marvin,
Yeah,
Marvin's
you can
right.
defend your wife all you want to, but you can find a better way and a better mechanism to do it than that. Especially
No,
considering you wasn't
I
angry
totally
at the
agree.
joke. You looked
I
over
totally
at your
agree.
wife and then got angry.
Yeah, because to what your point basically being is then this is going to give folks that didn't want to do it the ammunition to say, see, that's why we don't do that. That's because we can't have y'all do that. Now I know what Jermaine gonna say. Well, they was gonna think that regardless. They gonna use this. They're gonna use this, but they would have found something else to use anyway to back that narrative. Because as Jermaine would say, the country's racist. Did I get it right, Jay?
No. If I may say, Jermaine, before you start, your mom has said that you were doing good, but then you went left.
I stay left. I stay left. Hey, look, Will Packard got the score. Samuel got his first Oscar and stuff.
Yes.
And no one was going to talk about that shit today anyway. I'm just going to let you know. If we're going to be honest, talking about being overshadowed and stuff, they were not. It wasn't like today. If Will had not done that, do you think today the subject of this show would have been Will Packard or Samuel Jackson? It would not have been.
If the ratings had increased from previous years, they would have given a nod to Will Packard. So yes, I do believe if this had not overshadowed, they would have at least given Will Packard a nod for a good job.
Well, but here's the thing, and so I challenge you with this: you can have more than one thing going on at the same time. So if it was that important, why are we not hearing that now? And we are hearing that a lot, right? It's not that it's going unnoticed because
America is shallow. Come on.
I know.
Come on, Jermaine. America is shallow.
Did you watch the Oscars live?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you saw it, and there's a lot of people who saw it because the ratings up and stuff. But I'm just saying, yes, we don't give that man his flowers. He's already got a bunch of flowers, though. I'm saying that organization, they're still right. And anybody, again, people want to see people fall. And so they want to use this moment to say that Will has fallen off. And anybody, again, like my brother said, I am going to say it, anybody that was looking for an excuse, that's exactly what they're doing. They're looking for an excuse. To distance. It could have been anything. It's like when Kanye got on stage with Taylor Swift and stuff. They're always going to be looking for an interruption and stuff. And quite honestly, if your content, and I understand it was a big moment for them because it was unusual and breaking protocol and stuff, but we live in a world where we have an ex-president asking a Russian president in the middle of a war to release information, dirt on political adversaries and stuff. There's always a distraction. There's always another headline and stuff. I just think there's more oxygen being put to this than it needs to be to keep the fire burning.
And in this day and age that we live in, with everything being on quick news cycles, all you had to basically do on Sunday is type WILL, and the rest would have filled out slaps the shit out of Chris Rock. That's all you would have had to do, because it was going viral so much that you wouldn't even have to type Will Smith, Chris Rock. You could type WILL, and the whole thing would come up on Google.
There is a question.
He was wrong.
Actually, Brad has a question. And this is going to the panel, and then you can continue. Did not mean to interrupt Jermaine, but Brad was asking, did anyone feel a sense of embarrassment for Black folks? Did it make us look bad?
Hey, Brad, you remember January 6th on the white people?
I didn't feel embarrassed.
Go ahead,
it was about a year ago in January. It was white people that killed cops and tried to take over the country. I don't feel no embarrassment. If you think that that's funky, you should go back. What was it, 1950 something, when they had to restrain John Wayne from going up on the stage and hitting Littlefoot, the Indian actress who was doing the speech. You know what I mean? And so that's not the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened at the Oscars. It's not the most outrageous thing that's ever happened there. So no, I don't feel any embarrassment. Embarrassment for what? Because we're human? See, that's the thing. When you're not viewed as equals in this country and you're viewed as animals, anything that you do is justifications for that view. I don't feel embarrassment for a grown man being a grown man. What I feel is an embarrassment for this country that looks at black men as less than, and anything that we do outside of being prim and proper is viewed as those. Oh, that's. I told you they were animals. I told you that. That's that narrative. Let's get away from that narrative. No, I'm not embarrassed for other black men because of what one black man did. How many times has Will done great things? Don't we? And they won't use that as an example for other black men. They still have their tropes and stuff in place. Don't let Will's actions feed into those tropes.
And I want to pile on to this too, because the one thing that was really irritating me was, in my opinion, the overreaction. Is violence a bad thing? Absolutely. Nobody on the show is condoning violence. You can understand somebody's actions without condoning it. Me saying I understand how that may have led you to what you did is not the same thing as me saying I agree with it. Okay. Both things can be true at the same time, but a lot of times we are so definitive, you got to be on one side or the other. It ain't really about sides. It's, can you understand somebody being in that frame of mind? As a man, you damn right I can. Would I have done it? Maybe, maybe not. Who's to say? It didn't happen to me, but I can understand it. What I don't understand is people jumping off the damn deep end talking about they should have took his award away from him. I'm never gonna watch any more Will Smith movies again. Even my own cousin on the thing to this show put in this long diatribe about why is he getting mad about that when he should be getting mad that she got other people's mouths in her coochie, however she phrased it, and I thought that was just out of pocket. Or talking about the fact that why don't you talk about the fact that they have an open marriage and how that's just plain adultery. Look, I don't, if they have an agreement that they can sit there and screw whoever they want to, why do I care? As long as they didn't borrow my wife for this endeavor. And even then, hey, it's Jada, hey, my people for the team there. I'm just saying, you know, let me know.
I get it.
That ain't even the point. The point is that it ain't about why everybody keep wanting to judge the folks about their relationship and stuff like that. Their relationship is their relationship. If they have an open marriage, they have an open marriage. That has nothing to do with it. But then starting to talk about, yeah, they should have taken his award away. Hello, how many other times has an athlete gotten in trouble after the fact? You ain't take away a Super Bowl ring. You ain't take away this. You can do other things as the academy. You can discipline him. You can put him on suspension where he can't come or he can't do certain things. But that award was already for something that had already happened. Taking away his award because he slapped Chris Rock has to be one of the most ignorant things I've ever heard.
And them trying to now put on some stipulation after the fact, what they should have done, if they were going to do anything, what they should have done is not allowed him to accept his award is his award, absolutely.
Right.
But they should have not allowed him to accept it.
I agree.
Right. That would have been the repercussion at that time, and then that's it. We all move on. This
exactly.
About sanctioning him or whatever after the fact, that's bull crap. Nobody cares about that right now.
They didn't come back and take all of Harvey Weinstein stuff. They just simply expelled him.
Right.
They just expelled him.
That's right.
They take this stuff.
One of my favorite comedians, Little Duval, is always talking about what y'all fake caring about today. And so the same people who are like, oh, violence isn't the answer and stuff, as soon as Russia invaded Ukraine, these are the same people who's like, we should go over there and do something to them. Violence is the answer. The U.S. has a history of violence, and we condone it all the time.
Yeah.
We just generally condone white violence. We get outraged about phrases like, we make up phrases, the country makes up phrases like black on black violence and never says white on white violence. When black people react as human beings and stuff, it's a problem. When white people have a problem and they lob missiles at people and stuff, that's just business, right?
Yeah, or they're patriots, or they're patriots.
All the people who are fake outraged by Will and his violence, so it was too violent stuff, don't care about the killings that this country purports about other countries and stuff. Like when they got outraged, and I'm gonna go back to the Ukraine thing because it still pisses me off. they all aboard on Ukraine and stuff. There's a lot of atrocities being committed today around the world and stuff, and they didn't care until it happened to people that have brown, blonde hair and blue eyes and stuff. Anytime brown people do stuff, we're savages. That's why they don't get involved in Africa. That's why they don't get involved in Palestine. That's why they don't get involved with Saudi and their conflicts with Yemen. They sit there and say, "Oh no, that's justified." They could justify that.
Well, that's brown on brown crime. That's brown on brown.
Yeah, that's brown on brown and stuff. Again, I don't think any violence. Well, if you come in my house, I do condone violence. And so for anybody who says there's no reason to do anything, I'm serious. This door right here, if you try to come through this door right here, I got some hot shit on the other side for you. You will be lucky if I slap you.
Hello, Christina Rodriguez Ojo. How you doing? Oh, absolutely. Well, listen, I wanted to give it one last breath of air before we pass it on and everything else. But it kind of ties into the other thing that I was really thinking about is that we just had a hearing last week of Kantanji Brown Jackson, who is up to become the first African-American Supreme Court justice. In some people's eyes, she would become the first African-American in a long time because the last one didn't work out too good. That would be Clarence Thomas.
No, absolutely not.
And he's got his own issues. He's already got his own issues. But when Jermaine talked about the double standard of how, as a person of color, you have to present yourself, I couldn't stop thinking about Kantanji Brown Jackson when he was saying that, because this woman's credentials are unmatched. Lori, let's look at her credentials real quick. So Kantanji Brown Jackson has been went to public high school, an Ivy League school, Supreme Court clerk, a public defender, on the Sentencing Commission, district court judge, and the U.S. Court of Appeals, which is normally a precursor to becoming a Supreme Court judge. And as you can see, only Elena Kagan was the only one that didn't do that. She's the only one that's been a public defender. She's only one of two that's been on the Sentencing Commission. Yet Republicans try to poke holes into her by focusing on pedophilia, focusing on how she ruled on cases that there are sentencing guidelines established by, guess who? Congress. Looking at a chilled crown apple just does something to me every time. You are living the life, my man. You are living it up. That's amazing. That's a very chilled glass. You must have had that in a deep freezer or Alaska. That thing is whiter than well, I ain't gonna go there. But anyway, but looking at all the qualifications this woman has and looking at how she had to really restrain herself. You know, I was thinking about a segment that I could really do on this show called "If I Could Really Tell You What I Was Thinking, This Is What I Would Have Said." Because the whole time they were asking her some of the stupidest questions in the world. Marvis, you're on mute, but I got
you're on mute.
Marvis.
You're on mute.
What you saying, Marv?
I'm sorry. I said you should do it, and you should have the bubbles come up and say, "This is what I really want to say to your ass." No, this is what I really want to answer. But then you have them like this.
Yeah, the whole time though.
You should actually do that. That would be hilarious. It would be hilarious.
Because there was one time I thought she was about to break because Josh Hawley asked her a question and she paused. It's like,
and rolled and had to roll back because she had to think about it. It was like, wow.
It was almost like that bad angel was like, "Go ahead and say it, baby. He deserved it." And that good angel had to go, "Kantanji,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Right. Because the double standard was if she had come out, if she had given them what they deserved, that would have been their ammunition to say, see, she's an angry black woman, even though Brett Kavanaugh sat there and basically promised retribution and went off on everybody doing his thing. They ain't say nothing about that. If she had come at them like Brett Kavanaugh had came at that Supreme Court, everybody would have been talking about angry black woman. That would have been the trope that would have been played. Comments on that?
Exactly.
Anthony says this show is sponsored by Crown Royal, the best refreshing drink, but drink safely. Oh, Anthony says, is that mambo sauce? Really? Is he grubbing?
It is. It is.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Did you take that from the restaurant? Somebody from the restaurant gonna come over there and slap you. Just letting you know. Don't put your hands behind your back.
You walk on my property, they gonna carry you out of here.
Yeah, I know. They go get a cap. I know. But no, what did y'all think about the whole Supreme Court proceedings that we saw last week? That circus, is, if you want to call it that.
I don't know how she lasted through. She a better woman than most, definitely better woman than me and most of my friends. Because, well, I could only stand it for a day and a half. And the day and a half that I saw, they didn't give the woman even time to answer because they were bickering back and forth between, well, when the left side had a comment the last time was here, you didn't allow us to do a commentary. I mean, I was like, come on, people.
Yeah, Lindsey Graham
was
crying so bad. That was Lindsey Graham. He was crying so bad about, well, when Kavanaugh was here, y'all treated him. Is he on the Supreme Court? Move on. You know, and
shut up.
And then he tried to say, well, they shot down who I wanted it to be, who was Michelle Childs from South Carolina, because he's from South Carolina. So she's the only person that was, she's the only person that could have gotten it, Lindsay, even though you have voted for this woman in two other appointments. She was good enough for those. You ain't cry about Michelle Child. The problem with these folks is that their advice and consent is televised. Half of this mess wouldn't even happen if they weren't on TV to grandstand. Go ahead, Jermaine.
This is the difference between having a black husband and a white husband. A black husband would have got up and slapped the shit out of them. For talking to his wife the crazy.
So you're saying if Will Smith was married to Kantanji, he would have walked up to Lindsay and said, yeah, and then did this and walked back to his seat.
Keep my wife's name.
I'm joking about.
But seriously, it does go back to what I'm talking about, because anytime we show emotion, we're animals.
Mm-hmm.
When they show emotion, they're passionate.
They're passionate.
And it is about how we're framed in the media, how we're framed everywhere and stuff. Like I say, but the thing that she had to endure is what black people have to endure in professional lives all the time, where they're attacked for things because you can't be quiet, because then you're angry, or a quiet white person is stoic.
Well, a quiet white man.
A quiet white man.
Because even white women, a white woman that speaks her mind and stuff like that is considered a B. Just as much as a black woman will be. The reason that you don't get to say that a lot is because of the disproportionate number of white women that are in positions over black women. But women in general, it is more misogyny than anything, because men like you said, when they're strong and they come in hard and everything, they're just passionate and they're overachievers and go-getters, and they use they laud all those things on them. When a woman tries to do that because she's passionate about moving up and those kind of things, she's seen as being, the B word or the C word. Difficult to work
emotional.
With. What happened when Will Smith said that Janet Hewett was difficult? Couldn't find no job.
Oh
yeah.
The first day of Viv.
First day of Viv.
First day of Viv.
Now, they gave a 17-year-old kid more respect than her, who had been in the industry longer, because she was a woman, and that derailed her entire career, while his was just starting to blow up. So there is always been that gap when you're talking about men versus women. It always has been there.
Hey, big bro, what was the little teenage boy that crossed state lines, shot people?
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Oh, Kyle Rittenhouse.
Kyle Rittenhouse. So let's talk about Kyle Rittenhouse, and I'm gonna go back to Will for a second, and this ties into the whole thing. But Kyle Rittenhouse killed people. What did white people say about that?
Oh, that it was okay.
It was okay.
It was okay. He was just defending himself. He was scared.
Yeah, and defending property, our property.
But he killed people in violence.
Yeah, even though he crossed state lines with that gun, he was scared. Yeah, okay.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? This is the problem of framing, is that violence is never okay. All he did was slap that man. This kid killed people illegally, or I guess legally, because the justice system is queued up to make white killings legal.
It's fickle.
All those people who have something to say about Will Smith are the same people who said that he was a hero.
Well, listen,
you see why I have a problem with the Will Smith narrative?
Well, Jermaine,
I never said
hold on. Catch me up, y'all. Because who's saying what about Will Smith?
Hey, before this episode is sponsored by Crown Royal, we're gonna catch up on that first.
Okay. All right. I'm with that.
Hey, look, I ain't gonna lie to you. These kebabs are kicking. Y'all go ahead. I'll be right back. I get enough.
Okay.
The cook loving his own work. So CJ, basically, a lot of folks are really coming down hard on Will Smith because of his actions, but it's
as they should.
Okay.
As they should.
Then bring the same smoke for the people that said it was okay to grab people by the pussy. The same person that sat there and had over 12 people alleged credible assault against him, yet damn near 80 million people voted him into the White House.
Okay.
One man slaps another man, but you don't hear all that other smoke on anybody else.
Okay. No, now, I'm glad we're saying this because I've been talking about this thing for the past 72 hours now.
Yeah.
All right. So the way that I look at it, it's like this right here, guys. No one has the right to put their hands on anyone, period. However, hold on before you say that ain't true, because I am one to put my hands on somebody. Okay. However, you do have circumstances that will lead to that. I am one of those ones. It don't take very much for me. Okay. So I'm not double talking here. I'm letting you know that, okay, for someone talking, I'm going to gauge it. I'm going to gauge the situation. I'm going to think about where I'm at, the surrounding circumstances and everything like that. I know that what I'm about to do is going to be immature or whatnot, because I don't have no problem with physical violence. You do have people out there that do. Okay. The second thing is I want to say was this was more than just about the personal offenses. They were representing something larger than the both of them. This was a moment, and I didn't know what the Oscar, this particular show was about, because I don't follow it and everything like that. But when I come to find out who was producing it, when I come to find out what was the theme behind it, then it changed my perspective. I didn't come in knowing all this information.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Because see, what you're doing is the same thing as somebody, the football game gets played on Sunday and you're doing the Monday morning quarterbacking. And you're looking at it with a clear eye, clear vision to be able to say, okay, in this particular play, you should have thrown to the tight end that was open instead of trying to force it into double coverage.
Okay.
You're processing it from a clear-eyed standpoint.
I am approaching it from
but it didn't happen. But it didn't happen like that, CJ.
Okay, no, yeah, I get that. I get that.
But see, so you have to put it back in that context. What's up, Mike? So you have to say, in that moment, are you processing all of that stuff that you're talking about on Monday morning?
And that's what I'm.
Because if somebody talking about your wife, and you really love your wife, if I said something about your wife, and you looked at her face and you could tell she wasn't having that, and you're telling me, well, let me just think about the moment and how big it is, and let me.
No. Don't water it down like that, because
you watered it down.
No, I did not. No, I did not.
You trying to
I said that I am that type of person. Right. I am that type of guy.
Okay.
But I own mine.
So would the moment frame your thinking, or would you react in the moment?
Like I said, I am that type of guy that would do that.
So how do you know that if you were in that same chair, because you just owned up to being that guy, you would not have done something similar to that?
I would have done something similar, and that's what I'm saying, because even in my anger, I still can kind of think things through.
Everybody can't do that.
And given, I said what?
Everybody can't do that.
Yeah, I'm not giving anybody else my abilities or my skill. But at the same time, I'm not giving
them based on it.
At the same time, I'm not giving anybody no pass for no. To me, it was a bitch ass move.
Why?
Because of the situation. Because of literally the situation, the stage,
he didn't hit him
the area,
the situation.
And then on top of that, as much as you've been getting clowned, as much as your wife has been dragging you around by your nose, and have already embarrassed you. Number one. Okay, listen. Number one, you put your own family business out there. Didn't nobody tell you to do that. Okay, so you set yourself up from the start. Jada decided, I don't care whether it was her platform, his platform, or not. They made a decision to put what they did behind closed doors out in the public.
What got to do with that Sunday?
It was a build up to it.
The entanglement.
It was a whole. This is what people are saying in general.
I know, and they're idiots. But go ahead.
Okay, then tell me how it wasn't.
Everybody trying to piece together what led Will to do that. Like, I watched your podcast the other day where y'all were talking about people being in character, and maybe he was still thinking he was Richard Williams.
No, I was playing with that with a little bit, but yeah, go ahead.
But nobody walks around staying in character like that.
Right, and that's what I was saying. I was like, I wouldn't mind if I had my boy Brian on here to really just give that context. I did it in humor, but since you are an actor, then yes, please put it in context.
No, he wasn't in character. He was a man simply looking at the disappointment in his wife that potentially saw that she was being the butt of a joke, and he felt like he needed to go defend her. Did he need to go do it in that way? Absolutely not. But can I say with confidence
that was my only point?
But but that wasn't, because you basically said that was a bitch ass move. Well, you can't say that, because if you were in that same position and somebody did that to your wife, regardless of all of the other dirty laundry that you guys have in your own personal life that we don't get to see, the only reason y'all stringing this stuff along with August and entanglements and all this other stuff is because it's out there in the public eye. How much dirty laundry do you guys have that is in the public eye? And if you did something, nobody's going to say, well, they always been having problems. CJ been this and Captain and that, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That's why I'm talking about, look at the moment. In the moment, somebody sat there and joked about your wife's bald head, and you don't know if that's something that has been hard for her. Everybody in there laughing about her being in G.I. Jane because she got a bald head, and that may make her feel like they're saying, well, you look manly, you look masculine, or whatever. he sat there and got up and slapped the shit out of that man. Should he have done that? Absolutely not. But can I sit there and say I can understand why you did it without condoning you for doing it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Most people are one way or the other about it.
No. I'm not one way. See, that's what I'm saying. What you said, you watched my show, right?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't say that I was one way or the other. I said I was even with him in this part right here. I say he should, and I know we shouldn't do this as podcasters, but my position was more than likely I probably would have done one of the other. You know, in other words, if I would have came up to the stage and I was like, "Ooh, should I hit you?" I probably would have acted like I was about to or whatnot, or something like that. Or even if I decided to cuss him out from my seat, but I would not have done both, because my initial reaction when I first saw it play out, I thought it was fake anyway, and I really didn't give much to it at all. And then on the second time, but when I started seeing it being played over and over and over again, then I realized, okay, there's something to this. Let me really, really look into it. And so
I think Michael, I'm sorry, CJ, I think, and Pinto, but I think Michael had a question.
Pinto can make medicine out of this. Say something, Pinto.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
don't you?
Go ahead, Mike.
So I'm a little. Hi. I'm a little bit late to the party and everything. First off, I just want to say that it was a bitch ass move and everything because he slapped him. Who slaps another man?
Thank you.
I'm from Brooklyn.
That's what I'm saying. It was a bitch move.
Y'all ain't got no pimp in y'all head.
Say what? What you say?
If somebody else made that joke. If somebody else had made the joke, let's say Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, would Will Smith have done the same thing?
That's a great question.
I don't think so. He just stayed in his seat and said,
well, like I said, it's so many ways you can approach this thing, man. There's so many ways you can approach this.
Okay,
but
so
either way. Okay, let's just say, because everybody want to be all sensitive about the alopecia thing and everything. Okay, well, guess what? I have that same life experience with my mother before she passed and everything. So I said like this, okay, and if you watch my show, then you would hear me say that I understand the sensitivity behind it, okay? And I'm not condoning, let's just say in this, from this angle, that Chris Rock knew that what he was going to do was going to be underhanded and off color and everything else, and I got you, Jada. It still does not call for what Will Smith did.
So
period.
I'm supposed to sit there and weigh out in the moment whether I think what you're saying is offensive or not.
No, I think the point is that we
if you were really upset, and if it was you and somebody talking about your wife, you would have been upset. He wasn't upset, y'all. He never got upset until he saw Jada cut an eye at him, and he wasn't even upset then.
Okay,
and just like a well-trained dog, he went to go attack.
Damn, he got to be why he got to be a.
Thank you.
See, this is what white folks do. Why you?
No, white folks don't do this. No, brother, this is brother talking about a brother.
And
don't even bring white folks in this.
Him to a damn animal, just like
don't even bring white folks in this. White folks ain't got nothing to do with this.
Oh, they
absolutely they do.
They got a lot.
No, I'm talking about as far. No, I'm talking about like metaphorically.
They feel that we are attacking, that we're animals and this, and then this is why that even with the blow up of everybody talking about this and what happened, that he was aggressive in this way. This is the whole.
Okay, I'm not talking about from that angle because I agree with you on that. I'm talking because definitely that too. Because now that part I was upset about.
Am I going to sit here for what he did? He was defending his wife. He was defending his wife, and we had discussed.
He wasn't defending his wife. He was defending himself. His ego was in the way.
Exactly. I'm with you, CJ. He was defending himself. He wasn't defending Jada. CJ, I don't even know if you noticed, but earlier in the thing, I was saying that Jada had went on a blog and said that she don't give a damn what anybody says about her hair. It means nothing to her. Nothing.
Until you're in a room full of people that are laughing at you.
Hey, Brian, it's like this right here.
You know, I can say anything on this camera that I want to, but then when I really have to confront it, can I really live up to what I just said? I can say, I don't give a damn what Lori says, da 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 da. Then I walk outside and Lori looking at me and I go, oh shit. I can say anything.
Of course.
Now let me address this whole bitch ass thing.
Okay.
What man slaps another man? A man that I want to know that he's my bitch.
Which would take
you again. So I'm not gonna. Okay. That's the whole term. That's the whole term of bitch slap. If you've never been a pimp,
I agree with you. I agree with you. But guess what, Brian, I'm going to blow your mind. Brian, Brian, I agree with you because that's exactly what it means. It means I exert so much physical dominance over you, I don't even think you're worthy of a punch.
Right, because I'm taller than you, I weigh more than you, I'm bigger than you.
Right, so you my bitch.
Like a bitch, because if I punch you, I'm punching you like you're my equal. That's why.
Right, I got you. Okay. Now, given what we're saying over here is this right here. But you're bitch slapping someone that more than likely is not going to give it to you the way that you just gave it to them. Exactly. That's what makes you a bitch. That's what makes you a bitch.
Well, you can say bully, yeah. Okay.
A couple things real quick for y'all. I think we all agree that he could have handled it better. I think we're all in agreement to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. For CJ, for you, I need you to understand that when you're fighting and stuff, there are no rules. That whole thing about rules shit, that's for people who don't want their ass kicked and stuff. The best time to kick a man is when he's on the ground. I
agree.
There's no such thing as punching down to a smaller person. I beat up people that are smaller than me. They should have.
And I beat up people bigger than me. We all agree on that part.
But the thing I want you to frame this is not how Will should have responded, because we all agree that he should have responded better. That's not the point. The point that for me for this conversation, because I'm the one that says America's racist and stuff, is why is it that we have to have the burden of representing our culture every time one of us steps out of line? But every time a white person steps out of line, we don't have the same even conversation. You talk about brother to brother. We don't have the same conversations for white people. That's my problem. It's not that Will could have not done it. Yes, he could have done it better. Absolutely. No one on the panel says that Will should have walked up there and slapped Chris Rock. No one thinks it was a great idea. A lot of us understand where he was coming from, and there's where we have a disconnect. Some people understand, some people don't understand. My problem is that why was it blown up so much between two black men having a confrontation when white people do it all the time in public? Again, January 6th, they kill officers and try to overthrow the government, and they don't have the burden of, well, you know, all white people should be ashamed. All white people weren't fucking ashamed. They should be.
I have a very honest and obvious answer for it. And that's because we are the minority. Period.
What does that have to do with it?
Because of what Jermaine just said, B. Why is it such a big deal for us and not for them? It's because they are the majority, and the majority is rich, powerful white people.
But they've been pushing that narrative forever, and they are not the majority. There's more brown people in the United States than white people. So we are outnumbering them. That is why they keep pushing the victimness, the victimhood about this narrative that for people that are of color. That's this one. But they are not. They are the minority right now in this way. But they've been pushing that victimhood for hundreds of years, and they still want to sit there and to push their dominance.
I
But they still have the control, though, Lori. I'm not. I don't have no pushback to say of like who's the majority and who's the minority because I don't know that honestly. But all I do know is that they still are in a position to control the narrative. Now I don't know how to change that.
I control my own narrative by voting for who the heck I want to get in there. That's how I can change my narrative because I vote on my local level and get the people that I want in here this way and anything else.
And so it's 2022, and we have this platform, Empower TV. Check it out every Thursday at 6 o'clock for more head to head. Sports is coming back. But the point is that we get to control the narrative here. Why are we puppeting their narrative here? Is my question.
Yes.
Why are we saying the things that they would say about us? And it's not in a context that we're talking about where we want to check our brother and stuff. He's not my brother. He already got checked by Tyler Perry and Denzel. They already said something to him. They took him aside. They said something, both him and Chris, you all right, trying to straighten stuff out and stuff. It's been there. It was a bad moment of judgment and stuff. We segued this into our comments about Judge Brown and how she was treated as a black woman, how she had to respond under the same circumstances of where she was attacked and stuff like that. And I said, again, if Will Smith was her husband, he'd have slapped Ted Cruz. But the thing is what I'm saying is that Will Smith moment was just that. It was a moment of bad judgment after 40-something, 50 years of living where he had a bad judgment moment on camera. The whole thing about the background about whether his wife is cheating, you know how many people are actually cheating right now?
Right now?
Right now.
In their relationship stuff.
Right.
If you and your partner have infidelity in your relationship and stuff, and you agree to be together and stuff, that's not informed on everything else you do. People, your mortgage isn't based on whether your wife is cheating on you and stuff. This reaction was a separate reaction and stuff. And you're damn right, he got mad when his wife got mad. And if he hadn't got mad when his wife got mad, y'all be talking about he was a bitch ass for not standing up for him.
Thank you.
So this whole thing about being bitch ass, this whole thing about Judge Brown and how she was treated and stuff. Again, Jermaine says this is because America's rooted in racism. The narratives about how we're supposed to react are already scripted for us. And when we step outside the box, it's justification for people who are already looking for reasons to call us animals.
Final thoughts, CJ.
Well, I was coming in on the very end, but so I apologize for my tardiness. Appreciate you letting me in on the panel and sharing my viewpoints.
Absolutely.
My logo is above my head. Ain't no need for me to plug my thoughts too much and everything. If you really want to know how I feel about it in its full context, just look at my show, guys. You'll understand me better.
All right, fair enough. Mike, Marvis.
Okay, so I also came in late, but I do want to say that I do commend Chris Rock and everything for not reacting and taking the way he did, because I don't know another brother from Brooklyn who let somebody from Philly walk up to him, slap him in the face, and not touch him. I'd lay hands on him.
That's true. That's true. There you go, Marvin. Anything?
My final thoughts is that I truly understand standing up for your woman. I applaud if you stand up for your woman, but I applaud if you stand up for your woman for the right reasons.
And in the right way.
Nothing.
All right. Lori.
I think with the Senate hearings for Kantanji Jackson Brown, it's just we as Black people we go through so many things all of the time of having to prove over and over and over again our qualifications, and it's just sickening. But I applaud her on her grace, and that's the greatness of Black people, that we, even through all adversity, we still prosper and strive ahead.
Lori, I'm glad you
need to show those credentials again. There's a whole bunch of people that was on there can't even clean up floors.
It's part of my final thoughts. I'm glad you said that, Marvis. So my final thought goes right into where Lori left off is that Judge Kantanji Brown Jackson one of the most accomplished people that has ever been nominated to the Supreme Court.
Absolutely.
And once she is appointed as the first African American female justice, will be the most accomplished person on that present 9-judge court. The problem is, like Jermaine said, and it's funny how society wants to try to now take away things that are taught in schools, because they don't really want our kids to really realize how petty and racist that this country really is. How do we know that? Because Kantanji Brown Jackson gets asked questions such as, how do you define a woman? Are babies born racist? Things that you would not ask anybody else, things that that you would not ask a white counterpart of hers, especially somebody with all of her qualifications. She has been a public defender. She's only been the second person on the Sentencing Commission. She went to public school. She went to Ivy League school. Why is it that Black folks don't have to be as good? They have to be better. They have to be better. Why? I don't know. Judge Kantanji Brown Jackson checks all of the boxes. If her name was
that's beautiful. Thank you,
Wells. If her name was Kim Wells, she would probably pass the Senate 100-0. They tell you that all of these things put you in a position for success, yet they still try to take it away from you because you don't look like they do.
Yeah.
That is the biggest problem that we're facing right now, is that there are always going to be double standards. It has nothing to do with whether you're minority, majority. It has to do with whether people see you as their equal. Do people see us? And when they see us, what do they see? Thank you for joining us for another episode of Head to Head. We are back, baby. We will be back again on next Thursday at 6 p.m. This has been one hell of a show. I hope you enjoyed it. We will look forward to seeing you again next week. Peace.
This is ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking